Now, teenagers these days are monstrous. That's what I'm told at home by mine. High school students they're stressed, they're anxious, they're tired. Welcome to the real world. It's difficult out there, but can these kids actually better equip themselves to cope? What can they do with their minds? So one woman with some answers is New Zealand hockey player Brooke Neal with her All About Balance initiative. Brooke, nice to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
So what is it? So I go in completely blind on this. Tell me what it is you do.
Sure. So I developed a program called All About Balance, and basically my idea is to help high school athletes find a balance between their mental, social and physical well-being. And I guess that stemmed from coming home from the Rio Olympics last year. I visited over 60 schools and I actually saw firsthand how stressed these kids are, the increase in pressure, and also just, the amount of stress they're under in their everyday lives, and I wanted to do something about it. And obviously, with me teaching mindfulness, that's something that personally it helped me a lot. So I wanted to share that with you.
I think it's brilliant. Is this about getting decluttered from your mind and stopping and thinking and just taking some time and approaching things differently?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different ways that you can explain mindfulness, and it's a big buzzword that's been thrown around a lot at the moment. There's also a lot of, stigma behind it as well. But quite simply, mindfulness is a tool that you can use to help give yourself, be in the present moment and not be distracted by your thoughts, feelings or emotions. And, at high school that's so important because, there's the social media nowadays, yes. Negative self-talk and all this kind of clutter that you're talking about that's in their minds, and you don't know how to control it. So,
I think you make a really good point on this. I mean, social media, and we've seen this with what we do here as well, and you try and ignore it, but sometimes it's personal. We're human, and people say nasty things, and you cop it, don't you, at times? How do you tell a teenager to get off social media? Because they are completely glued to this stuff, because people can be nasty, can't they?
Yeah, totally. And, I mean, it's kind of human nature to compare yourself to others.
Yes.
So what I actually teach is not to get off social media, but let's fill it with positivity.
Yes.
So I just say, I do an activity where you follow everything that inspires you. If you like cooking, follow cooking. If you like motivational quotes, then follow those. And unfollow the people that, you are uninspiring, or maybe you look at their beautiful body and think, why aren't I like them?
There's also this strive for perfectionism, and social media has also set our kids up to, and they look at a world that actually is not realistic. They look at people's images, and that's not realistic, and you can't gain that. I mean, it actually sets them up false expectations, doesn't it? That's pressure.
Exactly, and I think I've got a responsibility as an athlete and someone who has got a following is to show authenticity in our social media, and I've really taken that under consideration when I do post photos. I don't all show the glamour and glitz of it all. Hockey is a hard sport. I've got a broken nose scar. I've got scars here, and
you're a warrior for your nation. You're a battler for your nation. I want to get some advice off you for my daughters shortly as well. Sure. Okay, because they are hockey players.
Have you got a personal story about how you've had to use mindfulness to really get through, maybe even the Olympics?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I went through a really tough patch in 2014 with a few personal things, and I discovered mindfulness then. I've meditated every day since that moment, and I really think that the reason why I got to the Olympics and was able to perform under pressure was mindfulness. Being at the Olympics, I mean, dealing with that pressure is something like I've never experienced. And so when I was able to be in the moment and not focus on my mistakes that I just made in the game and be able to, just concentrate on my role, that was something that really helped me in the sporting world, but it also helps me, for instance, backstage just before.
Yes.
So, it's pressure coming on here, but I was able to, focus myself and focus on my breath.
Because when you're getting interviewed by a rock reeler like Duncan, you have to really try and de-stress.
You're not a rock wheeler. You're not a rock wheeler here.
I think also we're trying to define that mindfulness thing, which, as you say, is quite a buzzword at the moment. A good way to think about it is it's the opposite of mindlessness.
Yes.
We mindlessly do things, so you just stop mindlessly doing things and actually focus on.
Definitely. I mean, there's things come out that say we have over 60,000 thoughts a day, and how many of those are we actually aware of? They say that we're on autopilot and we kind of just go through our days. And so one of the things that I am teaching is, make a habit of just stopping and doing nothing for once a day.
I agree entirely. I got 60,000 thoughts an hour. Just quickly, 10 seconds, because we'll have to move on, but 10 seconds. Can you go down the barrel of the camera to have some advice for my daughters who love hockey, they play hockey, and I think they want to be Black Six? What would you tell them?
Focus on your mind. Your mind is more important than your physical training sometimes, and I think we put that pressure on, the more you train, the harder you train, the better you're going to be. But it all does start with the mind. So yeah, use a tool like mindfulness. There's so many apps out there. Go and download one and do it every day.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Fantastic. After the break, well done as well. Thank you for coming on the